Just because you're getting older doesn't mean that you've outlived an adventurous lifestyle. I want to welcome back Carrie PAsquarelo, CEO and co-founder of Global Secure Resources. Hey.
Hello.
Great to have you back. And I love this topic because I think whether you're talking about someone who is a little bit on the older side or has a disability, that there are still adventures to be had. So you have that down pat. Tell us more about this.
Absolutely, absolutely. People are wanting to get out. They're wanting to be more healthy. They want to reconnect after COVID, this pandemic. People want to get out and be healthy, go to spas, go to retreats, and this is like the vision. And people who are, older, or even people who have disabilities are finding these wonderful areas in this world to explore.
Yeah, and there's something called the Blue Zone. And well, you've got Blue Zone beaches. I was going to ask you, are those nudist beaches? But I don't think that's the case.
Right.
So what's a blue zone? What's a blue zone?
So we have two things. We have the blue zone and we have the blue flag areas.
Okay.
So the blue zones around the world are areas where people are living past 100 years old. And it's phenomenal. We have blue zone in Japan, in Italy, in Greece, in Costa Rica, and also one, surprisingly, in California.
Yeah, that shocks me.
Yes, yes. So people are some of the things that they're doing on a daily basis is they have a purpose in life. They're eating well, they're exercising. And so this whole idea of vitality and getting out and enjoying this world is really part of this core, goal.
So to go to a blue zone, you can adopt and learn from how those people are living such a healthy and peaceful lifestyle that you can adopt and then take back home with you.
Absolutely, and people are doing it worldwide.
So is that why they exist, is to show the rest of the world how to live?
I think it's interesting. There was a person who did some research and found these little pockets, and he went in and he started looking at these blue zones and wondering why. And so just as a quick example, over in Japan, he noticed that a lot of the houses didn't have much furniture. And so people were sitting on the floor. And so these people who were 80, 90, 100 years old would sit on the floor and get up, which was actually making their core muscles stronger.
Isn't that interesting?
And so there's all these little tips. Oh, here's one.
And a fit core means a healthier body.
That's right. Yeah. And in Sardinia, they found out that the pitch of the roads were, very steep. And so people were walking on these roads, and that was keeping them safer and
so
healthier.
Interesting.
And
just the culture as well. When you're talking about Japan and Italy, their diet is so much better. But that's what is so beautiful about travel, is that you get out of your own confines, and you put the blinders on and you just think that there's one way to live, but then you take them off and you go to these other countries and you learn something new. So tell me a little bit more about how you get there and how you also incorporate other members of the family and people who may also find it a little bit more difficult to travel.
Right, that's a really great question. And we have multi-generation groups and families and groups of friends that are choosing to go on these big trips together. Well, sometimes we might have somebody that has a disability, or maybe is a little worried about finding a restroom. And so we have you covered. So there's a special, let's say we're going to London. They have an app, it's called Assess Lou. An app, you go on it and you can find all the disabled bathrooms along your path, but also there are some keys that you can purchase before you leave or when you get there. One is the radar key and one's the Euro key. And they have many, many different handicap accessible bathrooms throughout Europe, throughout London, and you can purchase this key so that when you come to that bathroom, you can unlock it yourself.
Oh, that's great.
And not look for an attendant to do it for you.
That's brilliant.
So
that's so accommodating.
And people are finding their path that way. Now, another really interesting area to look at is the blue flag beaches. Now, we have blue flag beaches, more than 5,000 around the world.
And these aren't nudist beaches.
They're not. They're not. They actually have wonderful safety records and health records. So, for instance, to be a blue flag beach, marina, or boat, you have to have access for the handicap, for people that are disabled. You have to, let's say, one of their beaches, you have to have an area for bathrooms. You have to have an area for fresh water. You have to, they have to test the water quality.
And anybody can access these.
And anybody can access that. So when you're going off on a trip, wherever it may be, first thing I like to do is check and see if there's a blue flag beach. I know there's going to be a lifeguard there. I'm I know that the water quality is going to be good, and I know I can access water.
It sounds like they are aplenty. One quick thing I want to get to, we only have about 30 seconds left, but something interesting about Europe. So if you are traveling to Europe, there are going to be some new rules in place. They were supposed to go into effect in 2024. That's been delayed, and there's a certain demographic that is released from these rules, but maybe you can just quickly tell our audience.
Right, so really interesting, we have the entry and exit system, that's the EES. Now that's, they're going to be collecting biometrics of all travelers. Now that's been postponed until probably 2025, but we have another one where we're going to all have to be able to get these visa waivers. Now this process, it's the ETIAS, which is the European Travel Information and Authorization System. It's a mouthful, but what that has been postponed until 2025. What you'll have to do is go on. It should take less than 5 minutes. It's very quick. It's under $8 to purchase this. Children and elderly don't have to pay, but you still have to do it. It will be good for 3 years of multi-entry, going in and out of Europe. But this way, they're going to keep a good track on who's in their country.
That's important.
Making sure they're stopping overstay, people who are overstaying their visa, and stopping smuggling, human trafficking, and other crime.
Could use that all over the world.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really smart. Well, we'd love to have you come back and maybe talk a little bit more about this. Carrie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
love
you
having
again.
you on.
Thank you.
We're back in 2 minutes.